Hi, it's Jen from Shabby Fabrics with a last minute fun ornament project you can make out of your scraps. I like that when it's just you're in the Christmas mood, you don't have time to make some big elaborate quilt, but how fun to be able to make some quick little ornaments again with scraps. We have a free download for you. It's called Layered Christmas Tree Ornament. You can grab that if you're watching on YouTube. There'll be a link for the free download. Or if you're on the Shabby Fabrics homepage at the very bottom, it'll say free, I think videos and free downloads and videos, I believe it says. Click that. You'll be able to download the 2-page little instruction sheet here, and you'll see all the other fun projects that we have. Subscribe to all the things we're doing. There's so much on the horizon, and you don't want to miss out. This is fun. Like I said, with scraps, you don't need to be buying any brand new fabric unless you absolutely want the fabric that you're seeing on set. This is Winter's Grandeur, Robert Kaufman, beautiful collection with some gold accents. I've done a couple of the ornaments in that, and then I did another one in batik. You could be doing this in a bunch of greens or whatever color you want. So you'll need some Heat and Bond light. And so let's just jump into it. We basically are going to take some fabric. Our pattern's going to guide us into getting a 4.5-inch square, 5.5-inch square, and a 6.5-inch square, and just put some fusible webbing on the back of that. Have that about on a medium heat. Your instructions will be included, of course, inside your package of Heat and Bond. This is like 1.25 yards, plenty to do. It's like $2.99 to do a bunch of these. So if you need some of that, pick that up. As I said, you're just gonna iron some on the back of this. Now we've included as your download the circles. So if you don't have a really cool tool I found recently, it's a circle cutter. I love it. I'm going to demonstrate that for you. But if you don't have time to pick that up and you just want to make your own circles, we have that here. You could make your own templates using the freezer paper if you want to be able to make lots of those, of course. You can just grab a sheet of that, if I can grab one sheet, and with a light box be able to just trace your rings, cut them out, and then of course you could just be drawing around that, cutting them out with scissors or a rotary cutter. But this cool tool I found, I think Olfa has a tool for every job, every mission. Let me show you how this thing works. We're going to try to zoom in on this a little bit so you can see the functionality of it. So maybe you like to cut circles. Maybe you do a lot of things with circles. I know those cute mason jar covers they do that kind of have fabric. That's a nice reason to be using the tool. So what we have here is these markers. We have that from our blade to that first strong line with the dot is a 1-inch from that point to that point, which of course is going to give us a 2-inch circle. And then from this point from to here is of course going to give us, so I'm just going to show you what I'm looking at here, because here's the point and here's the blade. So if we want to, on our very first circle, we're going for a 4-inch circle, we would be doing 2 inches because that's of course the radius is 2 and the diameter would be 4. So you're just going to unscrew that and you slide that over until that meets that mark. And now the distance from this point to that blade that is now retracted and I'm sorry, it's covered. I will pull that back so it's exposed, would be 2 inches. So we're going to go for the biggest circle here. Our instruction is telling us the bottom layer is cut to 6 inches all the way across. So since this is half of that, there's 1, 2, and 3. I want you to see that, and we'll just tighten that down. Just like that. Now this cap you're going to want to keep handy because that is very sharp, and they've made this little knob here that you can put that there. So when you're using the tool, it's in a safe place and you're not going to lose it. This is when you'll retract. You just squeeze this together and you'll retract the blade. So you can now, the blade's now exposed. I should say you'll retract the guard so the blade is exposed. So basically we want to just kind of test, you know, if we are having our point here, are we going to get this all? And we will. So it takes a little bit of practice. So basically I want you to see how this works, right? Our hand is going to stay steady and we're going to push down and we're just going to cut all the way around, letting that do the work. And now we have a perfectly cut circle. I love that. So that way I don't have to be making templates. I can just go. Now be sure to go ahead and cover that up right away. And of course, we're going to want to cover that blade up like we would anytime we're doing anything with a project. Let's put that aside. Okay, you repeat that for your 3 circles. I have a 4, 5, and 6 inch. And we'll remove our paper. The easiest way to remove any fusible webbing is just kind of crease it back and notice it'll release. Sometimes I've struggled in the past with getting that to release, and I've realized if I just kind of crease it, it just tends to release that. You'll want to fold this exactly in half, and now we will iron that in half. And of course, now that glue is attaching to itself. You can see why you want a really well-cut circle, because these, you want to be able to have it stack exactly so it's a perfect semicircle. And we'll do that one more time. This might be a fun project to do when company comes. You know, maybe you have things already fused and cut out, and now people can just do this portion. So now, if you just fold this in half to establish kind of that crease right there, you can see that from the overhead camera. Now I'm going to bring this down to that location and press and do the same thing right there. Now I don't want to iron that, and the reason being, if you can see, this is basically the bottom of our ornament. See that right there? We don't want a crease there from the iron, or it's not going to kind of flare and have that curve like a Christmas tree. So it's really more of just a finger pressing at this point. All right, you'll do the same thing with the other 2. Let me just do that real quick. Now we're going to grab for our Wonder Clips. Let me just do that last one. And then we'll start to stack these. Just like that. So let's grab those Wonder Clips. Notice on my little hanger here is a piece of elastic. We have the beautiful elastic. We initially brought that in when we were everybody was making face masks as fast as we possibly could for our family, friends, and obviously those in our medical community to support them when PPE was so short in supply. And I love that we're able to now do it for more fun crafts. So depending on, you know, whether you're going for neutrals or pastels or brights, I love that this is available, and you're just going to need a 6-inch length of that. You could be using a ribbon. If you don't have the elastic, that's fine. Whatever that is that you want, just cut that about 6 inches or longer if you prefer longer. So we'll get our clips ready to go. And now we will fold that like so. And we might want to just kind of clip it, kind of a little extra set of hands for us, while we put the next layer on. And let me re-fold that. Okay. Now this, I think I need to clip that a little bit lower. Let's do that a little bit lower. It's kind of in the way right there. You know, we kind of eyeballed it. It's about 1 inch, maybe that's a little bit more than 1 inch. You're just gonna line up your folds from the layer above, just like that. And you're just kind of looking left and right to see if you kind of have that same distance. And now everything is kind of lined up here. And then we, once again, let's just clip that kind of low. My Wonder Clips are definitely like an extra set of hands. I've definitely used those in this project quite a bit. And then our top portion. And again, kind of about that same interval. About like that. Let's clip that again. For the hanger, kind of what we did here is we just crisscrossed that. You're just trying to get something kind of down inside here. I lifted that kind of flap up. And then for that, I definitely found that I needed to have a pin kind of coming in from the side. The Wonder Clip ended up being in my way for that portion of it. I think that's secure. Hopefully that's secure. Let me try that again. Let's get that in there. Now this is the fun thing, decorative stitching. You know, even on my most basic sewing machine at home, which was like a Kenmore, you know, I didn't have any money when I first started sewing. Even that one has some little decorative stitches. So if you've been looking for a really fun excuse to use those, this is that moment. We just picked a really pretty star pattern, and we kind of have a shimmery rayon. So now we're going to go to the machine and pick whatever decorative stitch. You might want to just practice on some scrap fabric. And I think it's easiest, we found it, we tried it both ways. One time we started from the top and worked our way down, and the another time we started here and worked here. It was definitely easier starting at the bottom and having the decorative stitch end at the very end. We got a little bit stuck on that elastic when we started on this end. So let's go to the machine and let's put in our decorative stitch and we'll complete our ornament. That's pretty cute. That is cute. Okay, so we'll take our threads, our clips out, clip our threads, and then the only other thing that we ended up doing, because it kind of got flat, of course, where we had it clipped, is we just kind of ballooned it out so it's a little more Christmas tree-like, and then you have your beautiful Christmas ornament. So, you know, I love that sometimes those most enduring ornaments are actually the simplest ones to make in just a couple minutes. So thanks for giving me a couple minutes of your day to show you how to make this fun last-minute Christmas ornament. I'll see you soon.